Alrighty, we're going to start with our graders here. This game is actually like honestly, legitimately well optimized. So I don't think we're going to have problems even at 4K. We'll need scaling probably, but so that's 4K. It's weird that it's going directly to 60. I had this thing off. It's weird. Oh, frame rate limit. There we go. Turn that up. Okay, so 4K DLSS. Oh, let's go with like balanced maybe. See what that gives us, so we know what it is. And we can use transformer model. So that's DLSS balanced transformer model. You can see that the difference between the two of them, right? So that's 56. See? So some people, here's the thing. CNN is the traditional DLSS, and it's more efficient. Sorry, not more efficient. You get better performance out of it, but you don't want to use as much of it because it'll start to look blurry. With transformer model, especially on older GPUs like the Ampere stuff, you can use it, but you're going to want to use a lot of it, right? Like you're going to want to go performance. Performance transformer model should look similar to balanced CNN, and you can see the performance is almost the same, right? That's just the way that it is. So we can play with both, but we'll do balanced CNN here because we're at 4K. It's not going to be here. Not going to be able to tell. It'll be no problems. You can see here what we got. RTX on, this is pretty high settings. RTX on medium, and this is all high. I mean, we're indoors, but sure. Let's give her. I suspect it will drop down when we go outside. I have never been to this one, so I don't know what the outside is like, but we'll find out. Ooh, it's like a sandstorm. It's actually running really well. This is high with balanced on 4K. Jeez. Well, I don't bring any weapons with me, just so you know. I mean, I'm not good at this game anyways, but when I benchmark, I definitely don't bring stuff with me because I'm distracted and I get killed all the time. There was a drop there, but I mean, it's still running really well. Man, this is really impressive. There's a dude over there. This is 4K. Let's fix that drop there. What the hell? I mean, it's not native. It has scaling, but it's not balanced. That's kind of crazy, actually. So if you have like a television and you hook this up, you'll have no problems here. This is a competitive game, so I guess you may want to try to get a little bit more out of it, in which case, you could go performance. Again, it's 4K, so even with CNN, it's not going to look bad. Like if you can see on the screen, the foliage in the background, fine lines in the background, there's no wobble because we're at 4K. This is really good performance. And you can see the GPU is not pulling, like you can get these 3070s in like 115, you can get them in like 130. This system, because of the way the laptop board is in it, mini PC, but the board in it, it can't give that many watts overall. It's a shared solution, so you can see the CPU here is pulling a lot. Therefore, the GPU can't have its like 115 that it can do. So just be aware. But that's how it is. You get yourself a 3070. Let's go TAA, TSR. I don't want you to scale at all. Okay, just making sure. So this is 1440p now, native on high. It's not quite as fast as 4K with scaling, but I mean, that makes sense. Whoa. You can throw on a little bit of scaling, and I would, because why not? So we'll come here, we'll throw on a little bit of DLSS. Probably don't need much, especially if it's CNN. Quality will give us a huge jump, as you can see, right? That's just quality scaling at 1440p, just a little bit. Big jump in performance. It's running really well now. Well optimized game, right? So I'm going to make a well optimized game. Looks good, but runs well. I don't know what those things are. Okay, I've never been to this map. But we'll try one more thing here. So now we're going to go all the way down to 1080. It's going to fly at 1080p, to be honest. Okay, turn off scaling. TSR. TSR actually does put a little bit of strain on the system. We could just go like no upscaling, but whatever. So this is 1080p native now. So, and you know, we're loading up the CPU more and more and more as we load the resolution. So the GPU, it's only running about 100, but it's still running really well. If you see any screen tearing, by the way, that's just the capture card. It doesn't transfer through stuff like G-Sync and that. G-Sync, whatever. Whoa. You don't see me. Rah. Goodbye. Almost dead. Jeez. Alright. That was very close. Okay. We're at 1080p. What were we doing? I don't even remember what I was doing. Died it. I died it. And I'm so close to the exit. Okay, now Final Fantasy Rebirth. No scaling on high. Like max settings, whatever. I don't expect it to run terribly, other than the microstutter I just said. So you got to almost kind of do some of this type of stuff. Get that microstutter out of the way. That's just the game engine. There's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, and you can see here now, 1440p max native is going to be around 50-55. There are harder to run areas in the game, and there are easier to run areas in the game. I'll consider this probably about a 50 type experience. And when you get into combat, it's going to drop way down. This is just, again, game engine. It's actually going up out here. So yeah, I mean, you're pretty good for 1440p. This game does have DLSS, so we'll throw on a little bit. So we'll go just 66%, like that. That's going to give us a pretty big boost. Yeah, 1440p, 66% scaling. And again, everything else is maxed out. It has frame gen too, but we're not going to use it. Actually, it would be DLSS frame gen, so I don't think it would work because it doesn't have FSR. So that's is what it is. Now we'll come over here and we'll get into combat. You'll watch the lows tank, but that's just game engine, right? The average is going to be good. The lows are going to be trash, and that doesn't matter what I test it on.
No holding back. Keep it together.
Honestly, it's not bad. We could probably do 4K. 1080p would be no problem. I think we could probably do 4K. We'll need scaling like crazy. So we'll go. Let's do 50% scaling. Now this is, again, it's not native 4K, but it's a 4K setting, and this is going to emulate if you're on television, right? If you hook this up to your TV, oh yeah, that's not bad at all, actually. Again, it's maxed out. I haven't learned the settings, so the settings are maxed out. And we have 4K output, and the only thing we do is 50% scaling. Man, okay, so you can, yeah, if you have this thing hooked up to a television, 4K TV, you'll be good to go. Which is, this mini PC type thing is, this is kind of what it's designed for. This is probably what I'm going to use it for. Just hook it up to a TV and boom. I mean, there are going to be games where VRAM is going to be an issue. This is not one of them. You can see we're just under 8 gigabytes, so we'll be alright. Not bad. Other than the microstutter, which is just game engine stuff, there's nothing we can do about that. This is actually really good. So, damn. Alright, sure. I mean, there's Chocobo down there. That's where I'm supposed to go. Let's go do it. I don't remember how I'm supposed to capture them. Okay, well, you're going to do a little bit of Resident Evil Requiem here. Now, this game is fairly demanding on VRAM, but it depends on the setting. Why that matters is when you turn the game up, you're going to start really smashing the VRAM. So we're at 1440p, and you can see here the VRAM. We have 8 gigabytes to work with. It's not terrible, but if you start to turn things up, even if the GPU had the performance to push the frames, it wouldn't be able to because you'd start to get VRAM issues, microstutter, that kind of stuff. So you have, hair. You can play with that. That's one that you can turn on and off. We'll leave it on for now. You can see high here. We can turn it up like high max. Right, that's not a big deal. Just go max or go high. Sorry. Lighting is a big one though. See that VRAM there? If we go high, we're starting to creep up. If we go max, theoretically we could be over VRAM. So I'm going to go probably with lighting, high or medium. We'll try high to start. And the interesting thing is in this game, even if you throw on more scaling, it doesn't affect the VRAM. It just makes it easier to run because the textures are still there. So you do actually need to have adequate VRAM. Now this area here is pretty hard to run. It's going to hit the CPU pretty hard. Again, this system, it's not the best because it doesn't give you a lot of watts for the GPU and the CPU, but it is what it is. It's a pretty realistic laptop type. So there you go. I mean, that's your 60, right? We're not hitting VRAM issues. We're right at 8 gigabytes. We might end up with some like detexturing a little bit because we're so close to the VRAM and the way that NVIDIA compresses and things like that. And I find this game, unless the VRAM is really bad, it does tend to. But yeah, we're getting around 60. And like we're not cranking the scaling way up. We don't have the settings turned way down. It's running pretty well. We can now play with scaling in that without, like, it's not going to affect the VRAM, but it will affect the raw performance. So we're only on quality here. Right? We can turn that up, for example. Remember, up, down. There it is. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, we're going to be hitting the CPU pretty hard, and the GPU therefore can't pull, that extra 115. So we're leaving a few frames on the table. So if you have a system that can do higher CPU GPU combo, you will have slightly higher frames. It's actually a pretty big jump, to be quite honest. It's a pretty big jump. So hair strands really does tank. I think like maybe hair strands is something you should probably turn off unless you're on like a pretty like upper range or even like mid to upper range type thing. It's probably not suitable for this type of system here, would be my guess. We can turn it up to max. That's probably still going to hit the VRAM pretty bad, but we're going to go 1080p max high. And we'll go native. I don't expect a huge difference here, mainly because of CPU load. And then after this, we'll kick into 4K. Just see what it's like if it's like, all right, I'm going to put on a 4K TV. Be aware, 4K is going to be very VRAM heavy. So you're going to have to turn down a lot of the settings. Yeah, see, it's a little faster. We turned down the scaling slightly, and we turned up the settings a little bit, and we're getting a little bit higher frames. So yeah, it's not bad. Okay, let's go to 4K. So 4K. High, normal. We do have scaling, a lot of it, to be honest. We're going to need it, but we're not going to run into VRAM issues because the game fits textures in regardless of resolution. So once it loads in the textures, then resolution just affects raw performance. And of course, there's the other settings too. But I expect this will be pretty good. So if you're going to slap, 3070 under a TV, which are, typically 4K these days, you'll be able to game, as you can see here. Yeah, it's not locked 60 or anything, but this is still better than a lot of consoles these days. To be honest, a lot of the consoles, like you're trying to get 60 if you're lucky. And these people. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good. I'm not really sure what's going on again. I'm just trying to shoot while looking at the performance metrics. But yeah, so like it does drop down in those scenes, but even that was like 45, right? Like how about 4K, normal low, something like that might be a little bit heavier. It's not even close to being maxed out now. It's just, the raw performance. Let's see what we get here. Okay, so it started off good as well. Let's go a little further in where it starts to tank again.
He's the one to thank for all the excitement.
assume better. Yeah, it's definitely better. So yeah, if you're on 4K, you will want to lower it down a little bit. You know, those high settings were just a bit much. It wasn't able to maintain. Here, you know, we're at 55, which is considerably more playable than, you know, 40, 45. And the lows are way better now. Like, we're not getting those huge dips anymore. So yeah, this is good. Definitely you can do 4K. Output, just not 4K native. Okay, we'll do some Monster Hunter Wilds. You know, I'm not a Monster Hunter player. It's just not my kind of game. Okay, so let's see. Actually, that doesn't seem to. So we're going to go 4K. Let's turn it down, go medium, see if that makes a big difference. A little bit. And that's with scaling. Yeah, it's going to be a bit rough for 4K. I mean, it makes sense, right? Oh, that made a big difference. Okay. 4K low. I mean, we have a lot of scaling. It's working though. 4K low. But yeah, it's a little rough, but again, it's 4K. So if you want to play it on your TV though, I mean, it's not bad. You're going to lose a lot of scaling and turn it down, but it's going to run and do okay. Console kind of like experience, whatever. Let's come and okay. Come in here, turn it down. Okay. And I'm actually going to turn some of that. That's pretty high. Let's try performance. So this is 1440p performance scaling. That's a lot better. Now, we're still using performance scaling. We're at low, but this is significantly better now. The game looks pretty good on low. Let's see what medium does for us. Yeah, it's medium. There's a pretty big jump between medium and low, to be honest, like pretty significant. 10, even 12 FPS. So, I mean, I guess if you're at these high resolutions, you will have to be at low. That's probably where it's at, I think. Low. You can play with the settings, but that's low and just performance scaling at 1440p, assuming you're at 1440p. I mean, it's pretty good considering how old the GPU is, right? And we're not pulling max watts. Again, if you had a 120-ish, 125 watt, I think that's the peak for the 3070, you get a little bit more performance. Okay, one more thing. We will drop it all the way down to 1080. So we'll go 1080p like that. We can turn down the scaling probably. So 1080p balance now. We're kind of almost playing at the same like rendering resolution as we do this. We're decreasing the resolution, but also decreasing the scaling, so yeah, regardless, you'll be able to play it. If you're at 1080p, 1440p, or 4K, you're just gonna have to play with the settings. But you know, it looks like you're able to get 50 to 60 level performance. I mean, that's not terrible. And it's good lows, right? 45 for the lows is quite good, to be honest. 45, 49, and 59. That's incredibly playable. Right, remember, like most of the consoles, like Switch 2 and you know Series S, you're looking at 30 in a lot of games. Even PlayStation 5 and Series X these days, I mean, depending on the game, you're not necessarily guaranteed 60 FPS. A lot of the time, you're looking for 30 or 45 if you're lucky. One of the nice things about these PCs is that you can really customize the settings, right? Like you can set them up how you want. You want more FPS, lower the settings, and really tweak a little bit more for what you want. So give me that honey. Yeah, give me that honey. Fresh honey. Very nice. Okay, here's Crimson Desert. And we're going to be testing this on the 3070 mobile. A little bit of an older chip, but see what we can get out of it. So we're going to go native here. And you can see DLSS is off. And see what we can get. So this is 1080p on a high setting. See what we can get here. Now you can see the wattage there. I mean, unfortunately, the microphone is right beside the system that I'm using, so it might be a little exaggerated, but you can see the wattage there on the GPU is 115 or so, 117. It'll bounce up and down. Again, this is 1080p high native. It's pretty close to being 60. This is a good. Honestly, it's good. This is the type of game you would play. I mean, you shoot for 60. You're probably pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to hit the performance mode on this thing, and you'll see it will drop down in watts, and we'll see what kind of performance drop we get here. So 59. We just drop the watts down there. We're at 55, so we lose 4. So about 8% for 15 watts. So if you have a 3070 that's a lower wattage offering, like 100 watts, which there's a lot out there, that's kind of what you get. Maybe 5 to 10% lower than I'm getting. So we're going to put it back up to its higher mode, 115. There are some 3070s that are even higher watts, but it does start to have diminishing returns after a while. So 1080p high is approximately a 60 experience. Not quite, but it's bouncing around 60. And the main thing is, and I can say that because the lows are 39 and 47. So it's not like, we're getting 60 average with lows of 4, right? Like you're pretty much sitting around 60 and you're enjoying it. Now, if you see that screen tearing, that's just my game capture. It doesn't transfer through G-Sync or anything like that properly. Okay, that's good. Let's come in here. We'll throw on a little bit of scaling. 1080p with DLSS 4 is going to be no problem. You can use DLSS 4.5, but from my understanding, it does impact the performance a little bit on an Ampere GPU, so 3000 series. That is mainly taken from Daniel Owen, who's a YouTuber who does a lot of GPU testing. He doesn't do mobile testing, but he's done desktop testing, and his results are trustworthy, and he has said that Ampere takes a bigger hit. Sometimes even like problematic levels of a hit on DLSS 4.5. And I think there's different levels like L and something. I haven't gone through it enough to really get down with it, but 4.0 is still going to look amazing, as you can see here. This is a performance. This is quality scaling at 1080p, and there's no issues here at all, other than the screen tearing, which is my capture card. All these plants are looking crisp, right? No sparklies. It's looking really nice. CPU here is, it's not some beast or anything. It's an 11800H, but it's enough to drive this GPU. Put it that way. Okay, so let's now try some 1440p. We've established that 1080p honestly runs fine, to be quite honest. So we'll come over here. Again, I'm not very far in the game. There will be areas that are harder to run. There will be areas that are easier to run. Just be aware of that. So we'll come in here, same settings, but just higher resolution. This should be a drop. I mean, still at 50, 52. I mean, I'm happy with the game running. It depends on the GPU. Right? If I'm on like a mobile and it's our handheld, I'm like 45 is good. I usually shoot for 60 in a game like this. So, here we're at 50. You could play like this, and I would be okay playing like this. It's not the end of the world, right? Because the lows are good too. But I mean, we have room to work with here, right? We're at high still, and we're on 1440p, so you can easily use some balanced scaling there. And visually, it should look indistinguishable from quality at 1440p. And now we're back up to 60. So if you have a 1440p laptop, or if you're using exporting to a screen, I would say throw it on balanced scaling. See, it drops back down in some of these scenes, but this way you're going to be a bit higher. It's not bad. We can try, again, this is high. So another thing we can try is we can drop it down to medium. I don't think there's a big hit in performance between these settings, so I don't think this is going to be like massive increase, maybe just a couple frames, but yeah, it's 61. It did give us, an extra 3-4 frames. So medium to high, it's not even 10%. It's like maybe 7%, 8% performance difference. So, but we're at our 60 now, right? So 1440p balance scaling on high is similar to, honestly, it's actually kind of similar to 1080p high native, or with quality, sorry. So this is not bad. We can try some 4K. You might have a device you're outputting to a television, right? That is very feasible. I'm actually running this on a mini forum mini PC. Not really a mini PC. It's basically a laptop board. So mini PC is a big stretch here. but it's something you might put underneath a TV. And TVs these days are typically 4K. So let's see what we can get here. Yeah, 4K. It's going to be rough, mainly due to just raw graphical compute here. I mean, we're at 40. It's not terrible, but we do have performance scaling. We can try low. I mean, 4K is a lot for a 3070. Let's put it down to low. I just like maybe you're outputting to a 4K TV. Just kind of want to see if it's even possible. Yeah, I mean, that's actually not bad. The trees look weird. Those are freaking out. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, you see you get some shimmer over there. Let's turn down the scaling. I have noticed DLSS issues in this game with high levels of DLSS, regardless of the GPU, even on a 5070 Ti desktop. Yeah, it's still freaking out a little bit. That may be a lighting thing more than anything. So let's see if it makes that. No, it's just, I think it's just, the settings are just, so 4K is just, it's just not doable. So anyway, so we'll come back here. We'll go back to, either 1440p or 1080p. It's your choice. We'll just go do a little bit of 1080p here. That way we can turn it up. So we'll go 1080p high. You can do it native, but I'll just throw in a little bit of scaling. Again, it's DLSS 4. I'm fine with the tiniest amount of scaling just to get that boost. And again, it'll run at 60 1080p native on high, which is fantastic. But when you get to demanding sites, you might find to the point where you get a little bit of a drop down, and so maybe you want that extra boost that DLSS gives you. I'll play a little bit further and come back.
I'll be going now.
Very well.
Okay, we'll do a little bit of horseback riding here. Just see if quick movement makes a big difference. I was actually in combat, but I forgot to hit play or continue recording. It made no difference, the combat. Where you going, bro?
It's impossible to keep the peace. It's us ordinary folk who
It's definitely a nice looking game. Don't care. There's chickens everywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's running pretty well. I'll just play for another moment or two. So basically, the takeaway here, 1080p, native, high, 60, no problems. Maybe some drops here and there, but it'll be okay. Throwing on quality like we did here, it more or less locks the 60. So sometimes it'll be higher, sometimes it'll be lower, but it really does help lock it in a little bit better. And yeah, if you want to go 1440p, you can do high, but you're going to need balanced or performance scaling. No problems. Again, if you throw it down to medium, it will really help quite a bit with that. 1440p. 4K is rough, like very rough, so I'd be a little hesitant about that. Okay, let's go get ourselves killed. I think we can probably get into a fight here. No, I'm not doing anything, bro. See, we're all good.
Pox on you and yours.
Weapons cannot be used here. Well, that's unfortunate. Anyways, yeah, it runs well. So 3070, good to go in this, with actually pretty good settings. Like, I mean, it's a 3070. 3070 is a 3070. It's not like it's some garbage GPU. So yeah, it's a little bit older, but it's going to do just fine, honestly. Just basically play with the settings you want, depending on what screen you have, and away you go. It's going to run pretty darn well. Again, I'm not super far, but from what I've seen here, it's running well.